Today you're going to be learning about the British colonists, but not just from me. You're also going to be learning from maps, graphs, texts, and other documents. So we're going to learn how to get information from maps and graphs and texts. But first, let's go over some of our background information. This is stuff we need to know. The Puritans and the Pilgrims settled in New England for religious freedom. The Quakers, Dutch, and Jewish people settled in the middle colonies for trade and farming. And businessmen and slaves settled in the southern colonies to grow cash crops. Go ahead and use this information to fill in the blanks on your worksheet. You're also going to use this information to fill in the map on your worksheet. So for the New England colonies, tell what settler groups settled there, the Pilgrims and the Puritans. But then I also want you to use this map to create a key and show where these different settler groups settled. So for the New England colonies, use horizontal lines as your symbol in your key. In the middle colonies, use polka dots as your symbol in your key. And in the southern colonies, use vertical lines as your symbol. Now, we have symbols for each of these regions. We're going to add these symbols to our map to show where these regions are located. So add horizontal lines to your map in the New England colonies in the north. Add polka dots to your middle colonies in the middle. And then finally, you're going to add vertical lines to your southern colonies in the south, showing where they are located. Now your map not only shows you who settled in the southern colonies, New England colonies, and middle colonies, but it also shows you where each of these regions are located. New England colonies in the north, middle colonies in the middle, and southern colonies in the south. Perfect. That's a fine looking map, y'all. Now we're going to practice getting some information from different documents. Here's a graph, population of European colonies in North America. And we see our different colors are going to show us which groups we're talking about. And let's see what information we actually have to pull from this graph. Our question is, based on the graph, which group do you think had the greatest impact on North America? The English, the French, or the Spanish? Well, if I'm looking at a group that had the biggest impact, I should be looking for the group that had the biggest population, the most people here in the Americas. So I'm going to look at my blue line. The blue line shows the highest population. The blue line is the English. The English had the greatest impact on North America. Now let's look at maps. This map is titled France's Inland Empire. Not sure if I know what an inland empire is, but I'm looking at something about France. And I see that my colors show me French territory, English territory, and Spanish territory. So which country owned what? Now let's check out my question. Which group do you think had the biggest impact on Texas? Good question. I'm going to have to find Texas on my map. Texas is located here. I notice Texas is colored blue. So Texas was most influenced by the Spanish. My answer is C, the Spanish. What if my question asks me, which group had the biggest impact on New York? Well, I'd have to find New York up here. Here is New York. I notice New York is colored yellow. Yellow is controlled by the English. So I know that the English had the biggest impact on New York. These are examples of ways that we can use graphs and maps to answer questions and get new information. What about texts? Texts are sometimes tough. For a text, before we even look at the text, I like to look at the question to know what I'm going to be looking for. How are leaders chosen in the government described above? First, I'll read the text, then I'll start looking for specific information. So if I'm looking for how leaders are chosen, I'm going to be looking for the word chosen. So you see officers are chosen. I don't know if it really tells me how they're chosen. I see choose here, choose out of themselves, 72 persons. I see that the freemen of the colony shall choose persons to act as their colonial council. So they're choosing people to be in the government. Who's doing the choosing? Freemen of the colony. Which my answers sounds the most like freemen of the colony. The king, that doesn't sound like freemen of the colony. The people of the colony, that sounds similar. By William Penn, I don't see William Penn anywhere in the text. And by slaves in the colony. Freemen is kind of like the opposite of slaves, so that's not right. The correct answer is by the people of the colony. Leaders are chosen by the people of the colony. The freemen of the colony shall choose out of themselves the colonial council. Now, this is just examples of ways that you can use text to get new information and answer questions. Some of these are going to be tough, and you're going to have to wrestle with them. The words are going to be hard. It's going to be hard to know exactly what they're saying. But do your best. Look for your clues, okay? Similar words: chosen, choose, freemen, people. Also, cancel out answers that you know are wrong. If you don't see anything about a king in your text, then you know that answer is wrong and you can cross it out. Same thing with slaves. Use these tools to help you looking for keywords and eliminating wrong answers. Good luck. Hope you do well.